This is part 3 of our Breath of the Wild video series, and I'm going to be honest, we don't do a ton in this part.
No, we don't.
We're going to keep exploring the Great Plateau a little bit. We're going to kill some Bokoblins and clear out a camp or two, and eventually at the end of it, we'll start making our way towards the first objective that we have in the game.
And we kind of talked about in part 1, like you can actually get through this Great Plateau pretty quickly if you want to. I kind of won't tell what's going on with it if you haven't played the game, but that's also another great thing is the Great Plateau is actually pretty large. Now, you'll see later on when you get onto the map, like it's a lot bigger out there, but you can still spend a ton of time just exploring this area. And Red, that's something that you're a lot better at than I am, because when I was in the Great Plateau, it was basically from one objective to the other.
See, I've played a lot of the open world games. I mean, you talk about of course your Grand Theft Autos, the Witcher series, and I'm a big fan of that. And part of the appeal is just the world itself and the lore and everything going into the world. So I love taking the time to kind of explore. You hope to try to find some secrets. I didn't really find any secrets in this part, but that's okay.
That's one thing.
We have a lot of parts like that.
That's one thing I've found disappointing for the Great Plateau so far. My regular gameplay is I haven't found a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
And you really would I was hoping there would be more stuff there, but kind of going back to what you're talking about exploring, I'm more of a progressive guy, and that's kind of it kind of made this game not hard for me at first, but I'm a person that wants to I want to accomplish tasks when I'm going through a game, and exploring for me feels like a waste of time. But I've really tried to focus on kind of getting away from that in this game and really exploring. And at first it was very hard for me, but I will say now in the game that I'm starting to explore a lot and find a lot of stuff outside of the main quest.
Well, and especially later on, the more you explore, you'll find these shrines. You'll find, more traders and merchants and stuff like that on the roads. You'll find the treasure chests that have some item and equipment and weapon upgrades and things like that. There are a lot of secrets to be found, and I love that about this, having an open world Zelda. We're used to normally, if you explore in a Zelda game, you think maybe you'll find some heart pieces tucked away in treasure chests, but now there's so much more variety of things that we can find. Yeah. And I'm honestly a really big fan of that.
Well, just getting some of the items, they're not a big deal, but those items add up over time. And let's say you get a mushroom that that replenishes half a heart. Okay, one of those is not a big deal. But if you walk around exploring and you collect 20 or 30, that can refill your health a couple of times right there. So, I mean, doing stuff like that, and then, oh, crap, it's going to go somewhere. Oh, the shrines. I know where it's going to go. The shrines, I agree with you. The shrines also make, that's really why I've been exploring, because you'll see here in a little while, well, maybe later on in the game, but the shrines will create a warp point, and there's actually 120 of those in the game. So that's a point where exploring and finding those shrines can really reward you in the game. So it's really helped my exploration of the game and actually wanting to do it.
Now, one thing, there's a concept that I've always, that I like from Zelda games, where it's if you're in a dungeon, you clean out a room, you make a treasure chest appear. That's been a concept since the earliest Zelda games. I love how they took that idea and kind of brought it to the overworld, where you clear out a Bokoblin camp, or whatever you want to call it. There's 5 or 6 of them standing around, and you get that treasure chest to unlock for you. I like how they took that concept that we're so used to being in dungeons and actually applied it to the overworld. I just thought that was a nice twist on an old Zelda concept.
It's probably a harder concept to actually put into a game, because in a room everything's contained. You kind of develop that. What the heck am I talking about? Developing code. You can kind of develop that code to that contained area. Whereas when you're outside, monsters can get outside of a certain contained area. So
absolutely.
I kind of agree with you. It's probably a little bit hard to develop something like that, and to do it a lot in the game, as we will see. I did like that change in the formula, and just like you said, actually defeating enemies outside and getting numerous rewards for them. Really one of the many parts that made this game fun, and so far one of the better Zelda games.
It really is. It really is. Now, I'll be honest, when I was up on one of the ledges, I saw this cabin sitting over here.
Yeah,
I thought there'd be a lot more to it. I thought there might be a person or a side quest or a treasure chest or something. So I came to explore this cabin, and other than the cooking pot out front that isn't even lit right now, there really isn't a lot to it. But one little touch that I liked about this game is the fact that they took like everyday items. Like you see us right now using a pitchfork.
Yeah.
There was a pot lid out there that we're using as a shield. Just like these everyday items that they turned into useful weapons and shields in the game. I thought that was a really fun and really neat just little nice addition to the game.
I'm not sure what the age thing is for this. Like if it's, no, it's not mature, but you know what I'm talking about, like the rating system that they have.
E or
but
T
some
or
of these
whatever.
younger kids, I don't know if you should necessarily need them to see a pitchfork being used as a weapon. So some of the younger kids, I don't know if it like works out too well with them. But I do agree with you. Almost a lot of everyday items we can take and use as weapons or some kind of advantage we can use them for.
Yeah, and later in the game, of course, they'll have a little less relevance. But in the Great Plateau, when all we have is literally tree branches and Bokoblin clubs, it's nice to get a pitchfork, which up to this point is one of our most devastating weapons.
Yeah, and I guess you can't really expect them to give you great weapons like right off the bat.
No,
it would be nice to get some kind of a sword. I guess we haven't seen a sword yet. I don't
not.
believe we'll see one for a while. I don't remember getting one in the Great Plateau at all, so it kind of been nice.
We might pick up a generic, just like soldier's broadsword or rusty claymore or something like that. But yeah, we're stuck using whatever we can get our hands on.
Yeah, But I just like all these ruins out here. Like we kind of talked about the Temple of Time, and they kind of get the backstory on it, like how it used to be, like all these events used to be happening there, and like how it used to be so big. And then we see all these ruins outside the Temple of Time, and like just how much was actually around the Temple of Time, because all the ruins surrounding the Temple of Time are a lot larger than the actual Temple of Time. So it's kind of just like what kind of buildup went into this place, and just like how not magical, but magical in a way. Like how magical was it?
Well, and it kind of makes you think, like back in Ocarina of Time, of course, the Temple of Time was located right inside like
the
Hyrule Castle town and the market town and everything. And I know in this game, obviously, Hyrule Castle is a long way away from the Temple of Time. So I'm not sure exactly what all these ruins are that are around the Temple of Time. But I'm a big fan of exploring them, though, because a lot of times, just like with the Hylian trousers we saw earlier, the treasure chests are apt to be located like in these like abandoned ruins and things like that. So you'll see me do a lot of climbing on ruins or like exploring anything that looks like it might be hiding a treasure chest. Like later on, you'll see me climbing up and down like what looks like a ruined bridge and things like that. It's just any areas like that I feel like might be hiding a secret. I like to explore that.
Yeah, you have that little what's called OCD, I guess, where you like, I see that over there. Like you're one of those people that if you see an enemy on the screen, like you have to kill every single enemy. Me,
absolutely.
I just run past them. Like I try to avoid enemies as much as I can. So like treasure chests like these, by the way, I love the way those treasure chests look, like the little skull or Bokoblin kind of look. Love that. But like, I have a problem getting these treasure chests because I'm usually like, enemies, nope, I'm out of here. Because if I can avoid them, I am going to avoid them.
Yep. One thing I really love here, like you saw like the red barrels in this camp. If you use fire arrows or bomb arrows on those, they will like blow up and take out just about everything inside of here.
Yeah.
So I like that they give us fire arrows. I mean, we're only in part 3 of the game here, and we've already gotten fire arrows. And
well, hold on, they gave some people fire arrows this early on in the game. I'm still looking for my first arrows. It feels like in the game because I'm having the hardest time finding arrows, and I'm pretty decent like ways into the game.
Yep. Arrows do become a little bit of a shortage. I've gotten to the point where like I'll do my best to make sure I take out like the guy in the tower and pick up. He usually drops 5 arrows. A lot of the merchants sell arrows. I've tried to make sure I always buy everything they've got.
Yeah.
Just because there's nothing worse than getting into a fight or something. You hold down the button for your bow and you realize you've only got like 4 arrows.
Yeah. I will admit,
it's not a good feeling.
One thing I really only spent my money on, we kind of talked, or I don't know if we talked about it or not, but rupees are a lot hard to come by in this game.
Yes, they are.
Like, really, the only thing I've been using my rupees on is to buy clothing because I just have not found some of the clothing that I have this feeling like the clothing you can actually get for free in some areas of the game, but just sometimes I need it and like I don't want to go looking for it. So I bought a lot of clothing, but like other than that, like I've not really bought that much. I think I bought arrows one time because I needed them and I had no other clue, like had no clue where they were at. So I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and buy them now. But for the most part, I have not been buying any items, and really I've been doing a lot of selling because there's some
absolutely.
I don't know if you know this, Red, but there's some gemstones that you'll get later on, kind of like some rupee. Well, I think one was a rupee.
There's
and
rubies,
then like a
sapphires. I've encountered
topaz,
a few of
or
those,
however you pronounce it. Like you can sell those for a good price, and the description will kind of tell you that it's been fetching a high price since ancient times.
Now, I don't even know what I was going to
say.
Yeah,
sorry, I kind of left you hanging.
This wraps up part 3 of Breath of the Wild.